Our guest today is a man who wears many hats, literally and figuratively speaking. Maraming sombrero itong guest natin ngayon, ha? And, he has given us a whole world of exposure to different trivia and knowledge and ideas over the many years that I've known him. At pagkatapos, he's an adventurer. Mamaya, ikakwento natin yung mga adventures niya in different aspects. And titignan natin yung transition niya because there are adventures that lead to good things. There are adventures that lead to a fulfilling life. So, we are very, very pleased today to have as our special guest, Kuya Kim. Hats off ako sa iyo, Kuya Kim. Ha? Welcome to Kongversations.
Francis, it's an honor to be here. I actually miss you. And it's such a privilege to be... Alam mo yung mga kwentuhan natin many years ago, more than maybe 12 years ago or 13 years ago, we were together in Umagang Kay Ganda.
Yes.
And we'd see each other at 5:30 or 6 in the morning. And we'd talk so much because the waiting time was so long.
Right.
But I miss you, Francis, because it's been quite a while.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I'm excited
Likewise.
and really inspired to be sharing knowledge and to just be in a conversation with you.
Naalala ko nga, you're a person who personifies professionalism kasi yung mga segment natin late pa eh. Pero call time na dyan na. And then they put on our makeup, pagkatapos ang bigat pala ng makeup sa mukha, no? Kim, sa
Mabigat, oo. Lalo na sa TV.
Oo,
Sa TV, sa TV talagang... Uy, namatay pala yung makeup artist natin. You remember Marife?
Oh, Marife.
Marife passed away. She had brain cancer.
Yeah. Oh my.
Because I remember Marife was our star makeup artist.
Yes.
And her sister Nizel.
Oh,
Naalala mo?
Oh.
So si Nizel is still there. Marnie's with Channel 5. But Marife started working for Vicky Bello.
I remember that.
Vicky Bello.
I remember that.
Vicky made her so wealthy.
Made her wealthy. Share the blessings, ano ha?
Share the blessings.
Galing.
Was able to travel the whole world. But developed a brain cancer just last year. And she passed away just a few weeks ago.
She's one of the nicest people we've ever met.
Yeah.
Tapos, we had plenty of time doon sa ating makeup room. Kaya, naalala pa nung araw eh. Tinatanong kita about your collections, you love watches, you love a lot of things. At pagkatapos, ang dami natin marites, di ba?
Madami, oo.
Yeah.
Because we're in the news eh.
We were in the news.
It's people in the news should have business being marites.
Correct.
Kailangan marites. You have to be in the know.
Pero hindi yung fake.
Hindi yung fake and not to destroy.
Correct.
But just to know.
Yes.
Sometimes not to edify. If the times are there when you edify, good. When you build up, good. But just to know, we have to be in the know.
Right.
So mga news people should be marites.
Yes. And you're a public figure. Nabiktima ka na ba ng mga fake news?
Ako palagi. Even today, every single day, I wrestle with fake news, online bashing as well, online bullying. That has become part and parcel, par for the course for any public person nowadays.
Yes.
During our time, when we did the Umagang Kay Ganda, Facebook was new. Facebook was new.
Right.
Wala pang Twitter. The only social media platform was Facebook.
Yes. And during that time, talk to me about the initial reactions you have when you first found na fake naman to, tapos binabasa ko. What was the procedure and the process in the way you handled it?
When social media was not as we know it now, I would reply. I defend myself. Sometimes it was successful, but I would say 7 out of 10 it's not successful.
Most of the time.
Now, it will never be successful. So there's a way of handling bashing that you just have to kill the fire. What I do now is I say what my piece, and then I turn off my social media. So I'm not tempted to reply and add on fuel to the fire. Because a lot of these trolls, Francis, you will not be able to convince them because they have an agenda.
Yeah, may agenda nga.
And hate has more traction on social media than wisdom.
Mas attractive.
Mas attractive. Lalaki. Lalaki.
Although on the other side naman, with being a public figure, tapos bibira ka, tapos itong mga fake news, bashing and everything, you still continue on with your vision of imparting knowledge. And this is the one thing that intrigues me. From somebody who is typecasted as ito, magdadala ko ng weather report. And then you went into Batanglawin. I remember that
Batanglawin,
one.
yeah, correct.
And then you went into science and trivia and everything.
There was showtime also.
Oh, may showtime pa nga pala, no? Tapos, kumanta ka ba doon?
Minsan kumakanta ako, sumasayaw. I can sing and I can dance. Not well, but I can.
And what made you transition into do with that? Bakit hindi ka na nasanay at satisfied na hindi, I'm going to be known as a weather expert and everything else, and then you transitioned.
My roots, Francis, is in theater. I started out in theater, and my passion was theater and acting. Back in the 80s, I was part of Father James Reuter, his theater group. We traveled the world. We traveled the whole Philippines many times. I was with him. He's my real mentor, Father James Reuter.
Okay.
And then I went on to professional theater. I joined Tanghalang Pilipino. In the first season, I was in several of their plays. And then at the same time, when I was doing theater, I was doing ballet as well.
Oh, you were doing.
So I was with Fabella, their dance company, and then Manila Metropolis Ballet, and the first season of Philippine Ballet Theater. So my passion and my roots is really the arts. Yeah. So I'm a performer. I'm a performer.
So was it a challenge to you that you went into politics at one time?
Yes. Before politics, so after I took up film and audiovisual communications in college, wanting to be not to be a director. That's not my passion. I wanted to be a movie star.
A movie star?
Movie star.
Okay.
I'm very regular looking.
Right.
Hindi naman ako ganun kagwapo. Hindi rin naman ako pangit. Eksakto lang.
Eksakto lang.
And back in the 80s, Francis,
Yes.
for you to be a movie star or a TV star, you have to be Agamulak or Richard Gomez. You have to have a perfectly symmetrical face.
Oh, wow.
You have to be mestizo, tall. Di ba?
Oh, yeah.
And then, ako naman, sakto lang. So, it was a bit uphill for me. But I kept on trying, Francis. Back in the 80s, I would audition for any audition that I found, that I knew, and then I got rejected all the time. And then they discovered my voice in one of the commercial auditions. My producer then, Noel Malyonga, who passed away already, no? Sabi niya, Kim, you have a distinct voice. Your voice is not announcer-like, but when you hear it, it's distinct. Why don't you try for voice commercials?
Oh, there you go.
Okay, since I was in the loop already of all these commercial makers and all that, I auditioned. I got it right away on the first try.
Oh, first try.
First try. Then I started doing voice commercials. It was good money.
Galing
but these are all Sin products, by the way. I was the voice of Manila Beer, Beer na Beer, Miller Cigarettes. Doon ako nauso.
You were using those products at that time?
No. I just wanted to be in the performance creative field.
Yeah.
But my real passion was really to be on cam. And then back in 1988, 89, there was an audition for an aerobic show. What? It was called Muscles in Motion. Aerobics.
Oh, okay.
I knew nothing about aerobics. But because I wanted to be on television, but I was more or less fit. I auditioned for it, not knowing how to do aerobics. They got me. That was the first TV break in 1988. RPN 9. Muscles in Motion. I was the co-host of fitness diva Ana Udson then.
Oh, I remember that.
Remember that? Oh, yeah. 5:30 in the afternoon. Muscles in Motion doing aerobics. The first male to wear lycra on Philippine television. And we didn't know how to wear lycra then.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Konti na lang, naging stock mug ka na rin. No?
Anything to be
in front of the camera.
Of the camera. And then after college, my dad, I was doing theater I was doing ballet, I became a voice talent as well for anime. Because I was in the voice field already. I was the voice for Mask Man. I was Red Mask. And then my first job in ABS-CBN in 1989 I was the voice of Ultraman. Ultraman.
Okay.
But despite all these voice projects, my passion really was to be on cam. I wanted to be on cam. Pero bitin ang looks. But my dad told me then, Dad was already congressman then, he was an assemblyman. He said, Kim, you come from a family of politicians. Why don't you just get into politics? You'll be on TV anyway still. You still have your limelight. Then I was very young. I said, okay, Pops, I'll try it out. I ran for barangay chairman in San Andres Bukid. I won.
You won. Yes.
After a term as barangay chairman, I ran for the City Council of Manila.
You won.
I won. I was number 1.
Yeah.
This was in Balate, San Andres, the 5th district of Manila. And I went on for about 9 years.
Yeah.
But all throughout these years, being in politics, the passion was not there. I knew that I was doing it for the wrong purpose. I was doing it for my family, and I was doing it not for public service, because my passion was not in it. My heart was not in it. And then the time came when Dad was already graduating he was already mayor. This was in 2006, 2004. I was told by the family, I was told by Dad that I'll be replacing him. Me naman, my gosh, from councilor to mayor. That's a bit difficult. So like any other politician, I tried, I was quite influential already then. I was the son of the mayor, I was a 3-term councilor. I was able to pull my connections to get me TV exposure. That's how my morning show started. A friend of mine, DJ Santana, who was a boss in ABS-CBN, set up a morning segment in, it was not UKG then. It was called Magandang Umaga Bayan. With Erwin Tulfo, with Julius and Tintin. So I was given a segment in that morning show called Animalandia. Hanggang UKG, tumagal yan. UKG was 5 years after. But Animalandia started 5 years prior. My boss in news was very helpful, who believed in me, was Maria Ressa. It was still Maria Ressa. So I did Animalandia, but initially with an agenda, and my agenda was to be able to use my exposure on national TV because I was going to replace my dad.
To win elections.
And I even told ABS, I told them, don't pay me. I just want exposure. And we won't pay you. Not only that, I'll call PAGCOR because I was city councilor. You'll get a sponsorship. So sponsored na yung segment, wala pa akong bayad. Of course, I got in. But I did not know that that segment would be so popular, especially with children, with kids. But I enjoy doing it so much. And then after about maybe 4 months of doing it, Maria Ressa called me. She invited me to dinner, actually. And so we had dinner. And then she told me, Kim Atienza, I was not Kuya Kim yet. Kim Atienza, I like you. I like what you do. But I know exactly what you're doing. And it's against my code of ethics. My book of code of ethics. You are using news and current affairs, the morning show, because you're running for mayor. But I like you. Show me a contract. Yeah. You know what this is? This is a contract. I want you to work for me. I want you to work for ABS-CBN. You sign the contract and you're hired. With pay, finally.
With pay.
But sabi niya, but you have to make a choice. And the choice is stay away from politics. You cannot be in politics anymore.
Sabi ko na
So I told Maria, this is a tough decision. How can I say no to my family? They are depending on me, and the plan is already set. I didn't tell her that, but in my mind, Maria, give me time. Give me time. Okay, I'll give you a few weeks. A few weeks lang. A few weeks to think about it, but it's either television or politics.
So, you know the lesson we can drive out of that? There's no such thing as free dinner. May kasamang contract yan.
Oo naman. Pag free dinner, alam mong merong agenda.
Yes.
Walang free.
How did you break the news to your family?
I could not. Francis, I could not. Because they were spending for me already. My posters were already out. Yeah. This was about a year before the national election, the local elections. But the first thing I did, I was very religious then. I went to the seminary for high school. And I would always go to the Blessed Sacrament to pray. I was also very prayerful. Very religious. But my relationship with Jesus Christ was just friend and not Lord.
Maybe transactional.
Friendly. But he wasn't Lord. I was a sinner.
Yeah.
I was a sinner and I had no conscience sinning because he's a friend. He'll understand. That's how we are with friends. I'll snub you, Francis. Kaibigan lang kita eh. He was not my Lord. I had no concept of Lordship. Is it okay to speak Christian here? Okay naman. Ang audience naman natin.
Because it's you eh. Diba?
It's me. And then, so I told my friend, Jesus Christ, give me a sign. I've always wanted to be on television. Television has always been my passion. You know that, Lord. But give me a sign. Since I was very transactional, I was demanding for a
A
sign.
sign, yeah.
Oh, sign. Okay. But the Lord met me where I was and He understood where I was coming from.
Yeah.
So I went on with the morning segment.
Oh.
And then, this is actually my testimony. I said this on YouTube. I was assigned by this was already Magandang Umaga Pilipinas na. Magandang Umaga Bayan, transition to Magandang Umaga Pilipinas.
Okay.
I was assigned to the house of Ernie Baron.
Oh, yes.
He was still alive. He was the weatherman and walking encyclopedia of ABS-CBN for many decades. When I went to his house, he told me, Kim Atienza, I'm going to die soon. In Pinoy.
Was he sick at that time?
He was not sick.
Hindi naman siya
He was not sick. He was not sick.
Okay.
He had an operation for cataract.
Oh, right.
But he was very healthy.
Oh.
My life may end. My career may end. But I'm happy because I found a replacement. And he put his arm on my shoulder and then he said, Kim, ikaw ang papalit sa akin.
Wow.
Francis, I was shocked. I was in awe. I transitioned. I shifted the energy, made it happy because it was a happy segment.
Right.
But when I went home, I went back to,
I got you thinking now.
Lord, was that a sign?
Oh.
But because I was very transactional with my friend Jesus Christ,
Right.
I told him, okay, show me a stronger sign.
Oh, humingi ka pa.
Humingi pa ako. Bitin pa yun. Bitin pa yun. And then I went on doing the morning show. About 2 weeks after, I got a call from my executive producer, Noel Ferrer. Kim, tomorrow's your birthday. This was January 23. My birthday is January 24. Kim, tomorrow's your birthday. We can't give you a party. Di ba whenever we have birthdays,
May mga
party,
celebration.
may celebration. Kunyari, di natin alam. Kunyari, surprise.
Surprise. Tapos may maghati pa ng
Cake,
bulaklak.
bulaklak.
Cake,
Pero ikaw nagdala.
Oo.
Showbiz, wala kang birthday party bukas. Okay lang yan, Noel. No. I'd have to assign you on field. Why? What's happening? Ka-Ernie Baron died.
Oh, he died.
So he died January 23. On my birthday, January 24, I was covering his wake. And the Lord told me, Jesus Christ told me, if you don't get this, you're stupid, huh?
Do you need a stronger sign?
No, that was the sign.
Oh.
So the next prayer I did was it was a prayer for courage. Lord, now give me courage to be able to tell my dad that TV is my life. Yes. That's when I decided. I talked to Dad. Dad, being more than being politician, was a father first and foremost. I couldn't tell him in the morning.
Yeah.
I was on the verge of tears. I couldn't tell him. And then, you know what my dad did? He said, Kim, it's okay. You don't have to tell me. Whenever I watch you on television, I see how happy you are. When I see you in City Hall working, I see how miserable you are. You don't have to tell me. As for me and your family, will be okay. Go. I gave my dad a hug. And that was the beginning of Kuya Kim, as you know it now. Kuya Kim of television. This was already in 2005. A few months after, UKG started. And that's when I got to work with you.
Yeah. And your dad sees the fire and the passion in you. But actually, one way to say this is that your dad is a very smart dad also. Hindi ka mapipilit no?
Hindi ako mapipilit.
Hindi ka mapipilit. Tama. So you were actually working on the talent that God has given you. And over the years, if life is a piece of puzzle, nakikita mo the pieces are being placed together. And that transitioned you. Now, when you were in UKG, siyempre you were doing the weather.
Because I had to replace Ernie Baron.
Yes.
I had no desire to do weather. I had no knowledge of weather. Everything I knew about weather was a crash course. I talked to weather experts. I talked to sailors.
Yes.
I took seminars in Pag-asa so I can learn weather because I had absolutely no knowledge about weather.
Right.
And I wanted to be good because I was replacing an icon. But the desire for knowledge, trivia, animals, that's really me.
Okay. So here's the key. Because you talk a lot about your passion and the fire within you, and then pumasok ka sa isang field na hindi mo naman naintindihan, which is weather. And then you studied it, and then you acquired knowledge about it because you want it to be good. So, marami kasi sa ating mga kabataan ngayon, they understand the importance of passion, but they only know passion is something they feel strongly for
Yes.
without work.
Yeah.
So, how do you balance that?
Passion is a feeling. And as we know, feelings come and go.
Right.
Passion has to be with two other P's. Persistence,
Persistence and
prayer.
prayer.
Prayer first. Why prayer?
Mm.
How do you know which is your passion?
Oh, nga.
You have many passions. But what passion will give God glory the most? What passion is your purpose? You need prayer. You need a lot of discernment. And when you find out that passion, then you have to be persistent in pursuing that passion.
Yeah. I remember hearing a message somewhere wherein a pastor in the US says, you have to pray, because don't ambition to have a CD when God is not giving you a voice. So I realized that. So, yung minsan, di ba, yung passion ng iba, nakikita nilang their contemporaries or their friends are very successful. They also want it, no? But it doesn't work that way.
No. You can be passionate, but why? So you'll be passionate, and then that passion, because you're not doing anything about it or you don't know the technique to be able to achieve the goal, will eventually become frustration. And you'll be passionately frustrated.
Okay.
And that's not a good space.
Passionately frustrated. So, here's the key. With all of your sharing about passion, persistence, and prayer, hindi ko nakikita yung money angle there. So,
seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all else will follow. I've been very blessed, even financially, because I'm pursuing the passion that I know is my purpose, that God showed me with very clear signs. He wants me to be on television.
Yes.
And the money is secondary for me. If you're passionate enough and people see that you're skilled enough with the passion, you get paid.
That's practically the same principle if you have been a professional, pursuing your career and everything else, no? Parang pareho din. Like, I do corporate training all over the place. So there are people who would feel na matagal na ako rito kaya dapat taasan ang sweldo ko. Yung iba naman, they feel like, hindi, tatrabahuin ko to so that I can add personal equity and be a person of value and you will come. So, give us some insight.
Francis, for me, if you find your passion and your purpose, then just doing it will give you income already, psychic income.
Psychic income.
And then everything else is bonus. If you're able to go to work and knowing that you can do it for free because you enjoy the work, then money is secondary. Money will make you happier, but you're already happy.
That is so true.
I'm just blessed also. It's very hypocritical of me to say that I can talk this way because I'm well off. Again, to each his own space and to each his own season. I was put in a space wherein money is not too difficult because I married Feli. A lot of people think that whatever I have is because I'm an Atienza. No. Everything I have is because of, the many years of work that I've done now. But before that, when I got married to Feli, with a very comfortable nest egg already. We had a home with a nest egg. We had money already for the children's study abroad. So whatever I made is bonus na lang to whatever our nest egg is. That's my blessing, that I married Feli.
Right. And even Feli, I can see her passion towards education talaga, no?
Feli's passion naman towards education is something else. Money to her also is secondary. She had the money already. She made her money young. She was a stockbroker for Merrill Lynch for many years. When I met her, she was one of the top stockbrokers of Merrill Lynch in London. And she was handling Philippines, Indonesia, and Thailand from London. And then they were made an offer by Merrill Lynch, her and two other people, to buy Merrill Lynch Philippines. And they renamed it to Philippine Equity Partners. Jojo Madrid, Jojo Gonzalez.
Origin.
You know, Origin. That's the former Merrill Lynch. And the owners of Philippine Equity Partners were the top guys of Merrill Lynch. Feli was one of them. And that was the reason why Feli had reason to come home from London to the Philippines. Not because of me.
Yes.
But because we were already seeing each other, we got married.
Yeah, you got married.
You know, all things work out well for those who love God, for those who are called to His purpose. And God put me in this space that made me just so thankful and so fortunate.
So another piece of
puzzle.
the puzzle.
Yeah.
Pumapasok dun sa grand plan eh.
Yeah.
And let me think about a very important question I want to ask you. If Kuya Kim is looked upon and you started educating people, imparting knowledge, because hindi pera kasi ang unang priority mo eh. I would say that your first priority is establishing your passion and understanding the purpose, and money now becomes a delightful surprise that comes into your way. No?
Yeah.
Where is Kuya Kim now in the field of technology and AI?
Times have changed, and it's continually changing so fast. And we just have to adapt. No? There's a time when free TV was king. When you're on TV, that's all you need.
Right.
Now, you have to be adept and very skilled in social media as well. Now, social media was only Facebook.
Right.
And wala pang Instagram and only Twitter. Twitter was second. It was so simple.
Right.
The algorithm was not demanding.
No, right.
You can be yourself and you can still get your organic 2, 3, 4 million following. It changed.
It changed.
Now no more. The algorithm is so fickle and it changes every 2 or 3 months. And you have to know. And then now, there's even AI. And you have to be able to utilize AI now to be able to manage your equity.
That's true.
And so I have free TV, but since free TV is my passion,
Yeah.
and I know God put me there, 90% of the time, 80% of my passion is on my TV equity. But I know the importance also of social media, and I maintain my social media very regularly. I think of it as part of my work also. So I'm passionate about it as well.
Right.
So the Kuya Kim on TV has different small bite-sized versions in my social media platforms. Language spoken differently depending on what. There's a Twitter, there's a TikTok version, there's a Facebook version, and an Instagram version. I generally stay away from Twitter, although I have 4 million following on Twitter, or on X, because I find it very toxic and it's bad for my mental health. It's too toxic. Yeah.
No. With all of these things happening, the basic foundations are still the same. You still have to acquire knowledge, you still have to be good at what you do, you still have to maintain focus. Now, how does a Kuya Kim balance all of these things in your life?
There was a time before I accepted the Lord, when everything was set. If I had to put it on paper, I'd set it on paper very mathematically. Like 25% of my time has to be this,
Right.
then 25% has to be family.
Right.
But I believe in setting priorities. My priority was always correct, even before I was Christian. And the priority was this. It was, wait, let me qualify. I made a mistake. Because back then, my priority was God first, and then work second. I worked so hard.
Yes.
I had 4 shows.
Yeah. 4 shows
4 shows in ABS-CBN.
in a day.
3 shows I do a day.
Every day.
And then 1 I tape.
My
My shows in
goodness.
ABS-CBN then. I'd wake up in the morning for Umagang Kay Ganda. That's 5:30 to 8 o'clock.
Ganun. Yeah.
And then I would rest a bit and I'd do Showtime. Showtime was a morning show then, 10 o'clock. And then I would take from Matanglawin, which is my show, and then wait a little bit, and then I do live my segment on TV Patrol. 4, almost 3.5 a day.
Haba ng oras.
Ang haba ng oras, but I enjoyed it.
You enjoy,
I enjoyed it.
In between, you take naps, I suppose.
Take naps, yeah. I got that small condo near ABS, so I can take naps in the middle. But what happened to me? I suffered a stroke.
Talk
Because
to me about that. You
my
had the
priorities-
procedure, di ba? Nagkaroon
Yeah,
ka ng stroke.
I had a hole in my heart.
Because in your heart.
I had a congenital hole in my heart that caused a stroke. Again, but because my priorities were wrong. Now my priorities are correct. Now it's God first,
God first.
family,
Family,
health,
health,
and then work.
and work.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. No, I was there. I remember you had a procedure. How long did it take you for you to recover?
Again, that's another blessing. No? God has gifted me so many chances. It took about, I was in the hospital for about 10 days.
10 days.
10 days. And then for about 3 months, I couldn't work. I was doing a lot of walking, etc., physical rehab. And then it took me about a year to get 90% of my
1 year?
1 year, yeah.
Okay.
After 1 year, I would say I was mga 90% there. And then the 10% took a long time. My stroke kasi hit the left frontal lobe of my brain, and that's the part of the brain that's in charge of speech, memory, cognition, intelligence. Physically, I was okay. But for about a year, I was very stupid. I would pretend to know, to understand, but I couldn't. It took a while for my brain to process. Like, you know what happened there? It's called aphasia. It's a normal symptom, post-stroke symptom. I'd be talking in the middle of my speech. I actually forget what I'm going to say, but I keep on talking.
That's memory loss.
Memory loss.
Okay.
Temporary amnesia, and then I'm an animal guy.
Oh yeah.
And then I remember when my doctor was testing for my aphasia, Kim, name me 5 animals. I could name only 3. Yeah.
My goodness. Yeah. And then, talking about fitting in the pieces of the puzzle, how do you now see that episode in your life as a puzzle of your life's journey?
It made me change my priority. It made me put more emphasis on health.
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 That's why you're so fit.
Yeah,
and
that's
you're
why I became very fit. This all started after my first health scare, after my stroke. I told the Lord, sabi ko, I'm going to be the healthiest, fittest Kim I can be. So I got into running, I got into marathons, I got into triathlons. I became an Ironman. I've done more than 10 full marathons. I've done maybe about 12 half Ironman races, 1 full Ironman race. But again, now it's shifted. Because I had time then. But now I shifted, so my priorities are still correct. I don't do Ironman anymore. I don't do triathlons anymore. I shifted to CrossFit.
Oh, CrossFit.
At our age kasi, it's more important to build muscle, mobility, and strength. So I shifted to that now.
Right. So the very healthy and fit kid is also a piece of the puzzle na nakikita ko that brings you to a very recent accident that you had.
Yes.
Tell us more about it.
I'm still recovering from a broken rib.
Right.
Now it's my second week, so I'm pain-free. The pain is there, but it's only a 1 or 2.
But you still have a cast, right?
When you break a rib, then it's not put in a cast.
Oh.
You have a rib band.
Rib band.
A rib band is flexible.
All right.
And I wear it, but because we're in a podcast, I removed it so I look presentable. I'm going to put it back again later. It's very easy to take on and off.
All right.
So I broke a 4th rib, and in about 6 weeks, I'll be totally healed already. But I started working out already. But light, I do my legs, I do a lot of cardio, a lot of light running, a lot of walking. And I've been riding my bike again.
Right.
It's my 3rd day of riding my motorcycle. I've been motorcycling to and from work every single day since 2015.
Kaya kapag kayo ay on your way to the office and you see this good-looking guy in a very impressive motorcycle, alam mo na kung sino yan. Hindi Francis Kong yan, Kuya Kim Atienza yun. And then, tell me about what happened in the accident because it's a great story to tell.
Again, that's another blessing from God. God has spared me from so much trouble. I call this my 4th lease on life that God gave me.
4th?
4th, yeah.
Okay.
I was on my way home. I was in Quirino and Osmeña, the former South Super Highway.
Quirino, yes.
I was going maybe 50 kilometers per hour because it was 8:30 in the evening. It was quite clear. And then 20 feet away, I see this dog. It was a huge dog crossing the street from the dark. And as a motorcyclist, you're not supposed to stop. Because if you brake abruptly, that you'll even fly.
You'll fly.
The chances of you not falling is actually bigger if you just go on and gas up. So I did. But the dog was so big. It wedged, poor dog, between my front wheel and my frame. The bike stopped abruptly and I flew 8 feet away.
Grabe ka naman. I mean, you love animals so much. Nagmumotor ka, nilalapitan ka ng animal.
Oo nga eh. Aso pa yung tumama.
So, nung you flew,
I flew I landed on my right side, and then I heard a crack. I knew something was broken. I couldn't move. I was in the middle of the street, and then like a miracle, 20 seconds after, 30 seconds after, I hear a siren.
Oh, siren.
A siren. There was an ambulance following me, right beside me, behind me. So they stopped the traffic because I was lying in the middle of the street in the dark. I could have been hit by a car or by a truck.
Yeah.
That was the route of the trucks to the pier.
Or you could have hit your head.
I could have hit my head. I could have broken my spine. But there was an ambulance 30 seconds away. I was able to go to Makati bed within 20 minutes, within 30 minutes. What a blessing.
What a blessing.
The blessings are, I count the blessings. The first is, I could have broken 5 ribs. I only broke 1. I could have broken my neck. I could have smashed my face. But all I have is a broken rib. It's just uncomfortable. But I'm good. I could have been run over by a truck in the middle of the dark in the highway. But there was an ambulance that followed me 30 seconds away. Why?
As somebody who imparts knowledge, ano naman ang advice may bibigay mo din sa mga nagbabike sa atin?
Most motorcycle accidents happen 1 kilometer away from your house. I was 1 kilometer away from my house.
1 kilometer away? Most motorcycle accidents happen?
It's a time when you are most casual. It's a time when I'm on my motorcycle, I think of safety all the time. But that last kilometer, I was thinking of what I'm going to eat at night. I was thinking of relaxing in the house.
So the focus is not there.
The focus is gone. And because I take that route every single day, I'm so used to it. But that dog was a factor that I couldn't expect.
Parang autopilot ka na kasi.
Naka-autopilot. You should never go on autopilot, especially 1 kilometer from your house.
Oh my goodness.
So, again, it's an accident, but it could have been avoided because I was in the dark. Although the route is familiar, I should have slowed down. I should slow down. And look more.
Ang dami kasi mga incidents, sa mga accidents that's happening.
Sa aso, marami.
Sa mga aso. And ang daming mga incidents that are happening in our traffic situation, and mostly aso, as you were saying. Ngayon, the pieces of the puzzle is being placed together that brings to the journey of your life. And when I take a look at it, alam mo, we have, I believe in the saying that says, in everything that happens, God is always prior.
Oh, of course.
No? Always prior. So, kita mo yung kamay niya sa buhay mo. From somebody who, kasi I was living in Manila, I voted for you, by the way. I would have voted for you. Pero hindi ka tumakbo eh. And then I had the bigger pleasure of meeting you in Umagang Kay Ganda, and you were one of the people I really look up to because you're such a professional, and I have to say this, wala kang kayabang-yabang.
Ako naman, meron din minsan.
Thank you. And before we close, what's one core lesson you live by that you'd like to leave with our viewers as they are learning all this journey, learning all these pieces of puzzle? What is the one thing that you would like our viewers to live by?
I'm a born-again Christian. There was a time when my life lessons and I would get from self-help books, New Age, all these New Age icons, Oprah Winfrey, and all these guys. That's pre-born again.
Right.
When I accepted Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior, my life principle has been 2 Corinthians 12:9. His grace is enough.
His grace
is enough. His power, when I'm weak, that's when it's most powerful. So many things have happened in my life. So many things I've achieved thinking that I was the one responsible for my power, for what I have. Whatever I have now is not of my doing. Whatever I have now is from Him.
Yes.
And aside from what I have grace. And I'm so thankful. Everything I do now is from gratitude.
If there was an Ernie Baron who would say, ikaw na yun, is there anybody you see whom you would say, ikaw na yan?
Ibig sabihin, malapit ako mamatay.
Hindi naman.
Huwag muna. Wala
Hindi
pa.
naman.
I intend to be on television until my last day.
Yeah.
With whatever form. I'm just so fortunate I'm still on free TV. But a time comes when I would have to shift to another medium. I want to be in the public eye until I can't. Because it is my passion.
Passion mo talaga yan.
Yeah.
I've always been asked this question kung ano pa ang next adventure din sa buhay ko. Sabi ko, I'd like to die while I'm speaking and training. Can you imagine the impact on that on the audience?
Diba? Diba?
Oo nga.
At kaya may impact yan? Because you do your purpose.
Yeah,
if it's not your purpose, that will be senseless.
That's
and
true.
silly.
That's true.
But because you're doing your purpose,
right.
the impact of that. Imagine.
Oo. Life is really an adventure, ha?
Yeah.
Well, what more can I say? Maraming salamat, Kuya Kim, for being here with us in Kongversation. At ayaw kong tapusin eh. Kaya lang, ako naman, nagmamadali ka, busy ka eh.
Yeah.
And to everybody watching, stay curious, pursue knowledge, know your passion, and don't forget, life is talaga very simple lang eh. Love God with the Lord love the Lord your God with all of your heart, soul, strength, and mind. Love your neighbors as yourself, and then discover that uniqueness that God has given you, and then work on it. But then look for knowledge, sustain it, and then pagkatapos, always be curious and do the best that you can. Because life is an adventure. Alam mo, Kuya Kim, magsasara tayo dito sa episode natin. And before I do so, I forgot, I have to do my duty. If you like this channel, di ba lang sinasabi, subscribe, ha? So with that,
share, like, and subscribe.
Share it, and subscribe. And so, meron kang iniwan na legacy sa buong Pilipinas. Eh. No, hindi mo lang siguro alam yan, pero sasabihin ko sa iyo. And we have a lot of friends here in the room. Ha? Hindi rehearsed to, ha? I want everybody to shout out yung legacy na iniwan ni Kuya Kim dahil ang kanyang iniwan na philosophy sa buhay ng bawat Pinoy ay life is weather lang. Maraming salamat. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Francis. Maraming salamat. Thank you.
Whew.